Shot 1. Tiger's upside-down genius. You know you're witnessing something special when Tiger Woods is backed into an impossible corner and somehow finds a way out. At the 2019 WGC Mexico Championship, Tiger's approach on the par 4 ninth sailed left, settling in thick rough behind a massive bunker with the pin tucked just over the hazard. Most players would pitch sideways and accept bogey. Not Tiger. With no stance available, he dropped to his knees, flipped his wedge upside down, and played a left-handed shot with the back of the clubhead. The gallery fell silent as he made this awkward swipe, somehow making clean contact despite having zero practice swings. The ball popped up perfectly, cleared the bunker lip, and settled just 5 feet from the hole. The crowd erupted as Tiger calmly rose to his feet, handed his club to caddy Joe LaCava, and strolled to the green like he'd just hit a routine chip. He drained the par putt, maintaining momentum in a round where he'd eventually finish top 10. This wasn't just improvisation. It was decades of creative shot-making distilled into 10 seconds of genius. Where others see trouble, Tiger sees possibilities. That's why he's Tiger Woods. Shot 2, Bubbas' calculated hook. The 2012 Masters Playoff. Second extra hole. Bubba Watson's drive on the 10th at Augusta National lands deep in the pine straw, surrounded by trees with seemingly no path to the green. Most players would punch out sideways, but for Bubba, the hook shot was in his comfort zone, albeit an extremely difficult version. Standing in the pine needles, he pulled his 52-degree wedge and set up for his signature shot shape. A dramatic 40-yard hook through a narrow corridor of trees. This wasn't improvisation. Bubba had visualized exactly how the ball would curve, trusting the shot shape he'd perfected throughout his career. With thousands watching in person and millions on TV, Bubba executed perfectly. The ball started low, curving dramatically right to left, threading between tree trunks before landing softly on the green, stopping just 10 feet from the flag. CBS commentator Nick Faldo was speechless. Bubba two-putted for par, secured his first green jacket, and created what many consider the greatest pressure shot in Masters history. When later asked about the difficulty, Watson shrugged. "I'm just a kid from Baghdad, Florida who never had a lesson. I see shots in my head." Shot 3. Phil's open-faced flop. Augusta National's 16th hole. Final round of the 2019 Masters. Phil Mickelson found his ball in a nightmarish position, stuck in deep rough on a severe downslope with the green running away from him and water lurking beyond. The conventional play didn't exist. What happened next showcased Phil's legendary short game. He climbed into the bunker below his ball, positioned himself at an extreme angle, opened his 64-degree wedge to an almost horizontal position, and executed an extremely rare open-faced flop shot. The ball rocketed high into the air, landed softly, and trickled to within 3 feet. The patrons around the green stood in stunned silence before erupting. Phil's playing partners were amazed at the execution of such a difficult, uncommon shot. This wasn't a routine play. It was a high-risk, high-reward shot that few players would even attempt. "I've practiced extreme flop shots for years," Phil later explained with his trademark grin. But that particular lie made it especially challenging. He tapped in for par, finished T4, and added another signature moment to his highlight reel of short game wizardry. If you're loving this video, subscribe now and help us hit 5,000 golf fans by month's end. Shot 4. Spieth's calculated slope reading. Jordan Spieth arrived at the 2017 WGC Mexico Championship already known for his putting prowess, but what he did on the par 4 16th showcased his advanced understanding of green complexes. After his approach landed just short of the green, Spieth faced a delicate chip to a back pin positioned on a severe plateau. After careful assessment, Spieth executed a sophisticated shot that demonstrated elite-level green reading. He intentionally pitched his ball 20 feet past the hole to the back of the green, a calculated risk based on his precise understanding of the slope's influence. The perfectly executed shot caught the slope exactly as planned and began tracking backward, gathering speed as it approached the cup. When it disappeared, Spieth gave just a subtle nod, the reaction of someone who executed exactly what they visualized. "That was 100% intentional," he confirmed afterward. "The greens here have so much movement that sometimes playing away from the hole gives you the best chance." This wasn't luck. It was advanced geometry, physics, and touch, combined with the confidence to attempt what others wouldn't dare. Shot 5. Rahms' improbable waterskipper. Practice rounds at Augusta National have their own traditions, and skipping balls across the pond at the par 3/16 ranks among the most beloved. On his 26th birthday during the 2020 Masters practice round, Jon Rahm decided to join the fun, then proceeded to make history with an extremely rare feat. Using a 4-iron, Rahm struck a low liner that skipped across the water's surface multiple times before climbing onto the green. What happened next was improbable, but not impossible. Under perfect conditions, the ball caught the slope, began tracking toward the hole, and disappeared for an ace. The small gathering of patrons, fellow players, and caddies erupted. Rahm raised his arms in disbelief. It was his second hole-in-one in 2 days at Augusta. Though practice round aces don't count officially, the shot instantly became viral golf history. "The odds of that happening are astronomical," Rahm said later. "Everything had to be perfect. The speed, the skips, the entry point on the green." The shot showcased not just skill, but also the rare combination of conditions that make such an unlikely outcome possible. Shot 6. DeChambeau's strategic power play. The 2021 Arnold Palmer Invitational, Bay Hill's par 5 6th hole. While other players navigated the dogleg left around a massive lake, Bryson DeChambeau identified a high-risk, high-reward strategic opportunity, a direct line over the water that required exceptional distance even by professional standards. Standing on the tee Saturday, DeChambeau unleashed a drive that carried an extraordinary 370 yards, soaring over the entire lake before landing safely in the rough near the green. This wasn't just typical power. It was exceptional even for the tour's longest hitter. The gallery erupted as Bryson raised both arms triumphantly. What made this truly remarkable? He replicated this exceptional feat on Sunday under final round pressure, carrying it 377 yards. These weren't just exhibition shots. They directly led to birdies that helped him edge Lee Westwood by 1 shot for the victory. "The risk-reward analysis made it worth attempting," DeChambeau explained. "If executed perfectly, I gain almost a full stroke on the field. This wasn't just raw power. It was calculated strategy that required both exceptional distance and precision that few players could even contemplate." Shot 7. McIlroy's unorthodox solution. During the 2018 WGC HSBC Champions in Shanghai, Rory McIlroy's drive on the par 4/16 found trouble in a dense cluster of trees. His ball settled against a root with branches blocking any conventional swing path. A penalty drop seemed the sensible play. Instead, McIlroy assessed the situation and made a highly unorthodox decision that showcased his creative problem-solving. He flipped his club upside down, switched to a left-handed stance, and prepared for an extremely risky shot that most pros would never attempt in competition. With cameras rolling, Rory made a smooth left-handed swing with the back of his club. The ball skipped perfectly through a narrow gap between trees and rolled out to a position where he could advance his next shot toward the green. Though he ultimately made double bogey, the shot itself demonstrated why McIlroy is special. "It's something I've experimented with in practice, but rarely use in tournaments," he explained later. "This wasn't a standard recovery. It was an exceptionally risky but skillful adaptation that showcased his complete arsenal of shots." Shot 8. Woodlands' elite bunker strategy. The 2023 PGA Championship at Oak Hill. Second round. Gary Woodland faced a challenging scenario when his approach on the par 4/6 found a greenside bunker in a precarious position. His ball perched awkwardly on a narrow shelf with minimal sand beneath it. Rather than attempting a low-percentage direct shot, Woodland displayed elite-level bunker strategy known only to the game's best sand players. He pulled a hybrid club and deliberately played away from the hole, bumping his ball just 10 feet forward to a flat spot in the same bunker. The method behind this creative recovery became clear moments later. From his new, improved lie, Woodland executed a perfect bunker shot that landed softly and rolled directly into the cup for an improbable par save. "That's a technique you might see from elite bunker players in certain situations," Woodland explained. "I couldn't get close from the original lie, so I created a better one." This wasn't a common play, but rather a sophisticated recovery technique that showcased advanced bunker strategy when faced with a nearly impossible lie. Shot 9. Hattons Green Chip Innovation. Abu Dhabi HSBC Championship, 3rd round. Tyrrell Hatton faced what appeared to be a routine 2-putt from 30 feet on the second green. But there was a problem. A severe ridge between his ball and the hole was causing everyone to leave their putts woefully short. Hatton shocked observers by pulling a wedge while standing on the putting surface, preparing for a chip shot rather than using his putter. "Is he allowed to do that?" whispered spectators. Indeed, he was, and what followed was innovative thinking. With delicate touch, Hatton executed a perfect chip shot from the green itself. The ball popped up gently, landed just past the ridge, and rolled directly into the cup for an unlikely birdie. His playing partner's jaws dropped in disbelief. "Sometimes, the putter isn't the right tool for the job," Hatton said with his characteristic frankness. "The greens were so firm that getting the ball over that ridge with a putter was nearly impossible." This wasn't rebellion. It was adaptability, recognizing when convention needs to be abandoned in favor of creativity. Shot 10. Mickelsons Architectural Challenge. During a practice round at the 2002 Tour Championship, Phil Mickelson found himself in a predicament that seemed more appropriate for a trick shot exhibition than a professional event. His ball had come to rest in rough, with a permanent structure on the course, directly between him and the green. Most players would have taken relief or played around the obstacle. Phil had other ideas. With a small gallery watching in disbelief, he pulled his 64-degree wedge, opened the face to an extreme angle, and took a full swing. The ball launched nearly straight up, clearing the structure by inches before descending onto the green just 12 feet from the flag. The spectators erupted in applause while Phil simply nodded, as if hitting over obstacles was part of his regular practice routine. "The fun part of golf is trying shots nobody else would consider," Mickelson later said. Though it didn't count in official play, the shot perfectly encapsulated Phil's philosophy. Conventional wisdom is merely a suggestion, not a rule. His willingness to attempt the impossible has made him a fan favorite for decades. Shot 11. Davis's high-risk route recovery. The 2025 Attant Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Final round. Cam Davis's approach to the iconic 18th hole took an unfortunate bounce, settling into what commentators immediately called an unplayable lie. His ball nestled between exposed tree roots with no backswing possible. Most players would have declared it unplayable and taken a penalty drop. Davis instead attempted an extremely rare and high-risk play. After careful assessment, he opened his wedge face, adjusted his stance to an awkward crouch, and attempted what seemed impossible. With a steep, abbreviated swing, Davis somehow threaded his club between the roots, making clean contact. The ball popped up beautifully, landed softly on the green, and settled just 8 feet from the hole. The Pebble Beach gallery roared their approval. "That was probably a 1 in 20 shot even for a tour pro," Davis explained after securing a top 5 finish with a closing birdie. "The risk was huge, but I felt I could pull it off. This wasn't a standard recovery. It was an exceptionally dangerous play that few professionals would even attempt, showcasing both courage and extraordinary skill." Shot 12. Tiger's iconic Masters moment. Sunday at the 2005 Masters, Tiger Woods and Chris DeMarco locked in an epic duel, On the par 3/16th, Tiger's tee shot missed long left, leaving him a nearly impossible chip with the pin cut dangerously close to the water. Instead of playing directly at the hole, Tiger and caddy Steve Williams identified a specific spot far left of the pin. Tiger executed his chip, landing on their chosen spot, though the ball didn't track exactly as intended. What followed became golf immortality. The ball began its journey across the green, taking a slightly different path than planned, but still using the slope's contours. It curled toward the hole with dramatic flair, paused dramatically on the lip for 1.8 seconds, the Nike swoosh clearly visible, before dropping. The Augusta roar was deafening. "In your life, have you seen anything like that?" exclaimed broadcaster Vern Lundquist, providing the perfect soundtrack to the moment. Though Tiger would bogey the next hole and require a playoff to secure his fourth green jacket, this shot remains perhaps the most replayed in golf history. The perfect combination of skill, imagination, and that unexplainable Tiger magic. We arrived to the end of our video. If you loved this video, subscribe and keep watching our next video here.